Thank you for joining me. On today's episode of Bible Blueprint of the New Testament, we are looking at the book of Mark. Now, the book of Mark is number 2 in order of the New Testament. There are 16 chapters in the book, and the type of book it is the gospel or synoptic. An overview of the book of Mark. As one of the Gospels that details the ministry of Jesus Christ, Mark is written by John Mark, who was a friend of the Apostle Peter. He later traveled with the Apostle Paul and his assistant Barnabas on Paul's first missionary journey around Asia Minor. Mark's account is unique in that it is written to a Gentile audience, and he emphasizes Christ's actions more than his teachings. As such, the book is filled with miracles Jesus Christ performed during his ministry. Mark's testimony shows how powerful, kind, and merciful God is. Now, the book of Mark was written between 50 to 60 AD. The time period covered is 7 BC to 26 AD, and the author is John Mark, a friend who traveled with the Apostle Paul. Now, there are 5 sections to the book of Mark. Number 1, the start of the book of Mark. We see this in chapters 1 through 2. Mark shares his ministry of John the Baptist relating to Jesus Christ, but does not account for Christ's early years. Section 2, teachings of Christ singular to this gospel. We see this in chapters 3 through 15. Mark includes 2 original parables, including the parables of the seed growing secretly and the parable of the doorkeeper. Section 3, the miracles of Christ singular to this gospel, also in chapters 3 through 25. 15 miracles are presented in Mark, 3 of which are original. The healing of the deaf-mute man in Decapolis, the blind man at Bethsaida, and the boy who threw himself into fire. Mark also tells of Jesus calming the storm. Section 4, the prophecies of Christ singular to this gospel. We see this in chapters 3 through 15. Mark recounts Jesus telling Simon Peter and his brother Andrew that he will make them fishers of people. Jesus naming James and John the sons of thunder, and the reports the power that left Jesus when a bleeding woman touched his robe. Section 5, the death, resurrection, and ascension details singular to this gospel. We see this in chapters 15 through 16. Mark tells of a young man fleeing naked during the arrest of Jesus, and Pilate asking whether Jesus was already dead. The last verses of Mark are questionable, not having been included in the original manuscript. Okay, that brings us to the end of our overview on the book of Mark. That's all for now. God bless.